Hi everybody, my name is Yana and it's my pleasure to present a video regarding knitting of sideways. Uh, I would like to show you how to knit a raglan sideways. I was asking once to show uh, how to knit sideways, and I answered, of course, it's so easy. But afterwards, when I thought about it, I decided probably it's not as easy because of, sideways knitting of a raglan sleeve is pretty easy by itself. But it suits very well knitting on knitting machine because if you can knit whole way around, for example, starting in the middle of the back and knitting back, one sleeve front, another sleeve and half of back. Mm, and if you knit sideways, you can join your part as you go on your knitting machine. And it's even best, you can knit your neckline, or you can knit your hem uh, while you knit your main part. So basically, if you knit sideways, you can remove from machine almost finished garment. However, knitting sideways knitting is have some drawbacks. And the main drawback of sideways knitting, it's difficulties of calculated of width of this garment, because everybody who tries to knit sideways at least once had a problem when their garment is their finished garment will be far too large. Otherwise, if you can manage to calculate a number of rows in your garment, it's very easy and pretty pleasant way to make your garments. However, if I should show how to knit raglan sideways whole way around, the video will be really long. That's why I decide to show only principles how to knit a raglan. So I will show principle how to knit a regular raglans, but there are several ways to do it. It is it's regular raglan line with hole on a raglan line. It's another way to knit raglan with the separate lines which resembling dart. You can knit a raglan line with some kind of line in the middle of the sleeve, and you can choose to knit a raglan. It's basically not raglan, it's some kind of half raglan sleeve, which is much better than regular sideways knitting without raglan, and it's resembling a regular sleeve. Otherwise it's resembling half raglan or American sleeve. It's basically pretty nice way to do it. But in this video, I will show a regular way to knit a raglan sideways, just completely regular raglan sideways. We will start in the in the lower part of a sleeve and knit our sleeve, and afterwards knit a raglan line and main part and opposite sleeve. So we will make half of our garment. And if this way of knitting garment interesting, so please write me in comments, so I will show how to do it whole way around and how to sew it together on a knitting machine, and how to make neckline and how to make a hem on this garment as you go. If you are interested, so stay with me. I will show how to do it. And as I say, we are talking about main principles of making raglan. It's not finished garment. It's just principles how to do it. Now I cast on my knitting machine, it's a number of stitches which I will use for my sleeve. So it's a full length of my sleeve, and continue to knit until I reach the midline of my sleeve. For my project now, it's my midline of sleeve. It's a it's a it's a basically it's a V casting off at the middle of my sleeve. So now I begin to make a raglan line by partial knitting, by bringing in working position, but bringing forward needles one after one until I reach my the bottom of my raglan line. Now I reached the bottom of my raglan line, and now I begin at bind off stitches. So I'm binding off uh, the inner part of my sleeve. As soon as finished embodying off, I bring needle forward and casting on the same number of needle. But of course, I'm just using the same number of needle to show how does it work. But you will use this number of needle you use for the main part of your garment. So basically what I'm doing now I'm casting on the main part of my garment and continue with the main part of my garment. Don't forget to put weights when you knit partial knitting, because of it needs a lot of weights. Now I'm making a raglan line from the side of a main part of so from the my frontal part or back part. So what I'm doing now, I am putting in working position. I'm just by putting it backward, one needle after another. And this way I make my raglan line. It's a it's a half of my raglan line from the main part of my garment. In this situation, probably it's like back part of my garment. And I bring in working position one needle after another. But be careful. When you are knitting your raglan line, you have to be aware of that all your needles knit, because of if you are unaware of it's pretty easy, you will make mistake. You see, one of my holes is smaller and another is larger. It's because of I was so busy with explaining, and I overlooked that one of my needles did not knit. So I've done my raglan line now, and now I continue with the main part. And we still remember I'm knitting sideways. So if you will knit your neckline, so it will be now. But I will not do my neckline because I just don't want to spend more time than necessary with this video. I just want to show basically principles for raglan, and I can show how to knit neckline in the other videos. Now I will knit few rows in the middle of our, if we decide that it's a back part, so it's in the middle of our back part, and begin to make a neckline on the opposite side. So I am done the number of rows I need for the main for my garment. And now I begin to form a raglan line at the opposite side. And I just want to bring my right side up to show you that it will be easier for you to see what I am doing. It's a right side of my garment. So you see a sleeve and raglan line and the main part. Now I will do the opposite. So it means that I begin create my raglan line on another side. So of course I do it like I will mirror it. And still don't forget weights when you knit your partial knitting. And if you have weaving brushes on your machine, it's a good time to remove them. Otherwise, it will be hard for you to knit partial knitting. I bring the first needle from the left side uh, forward and begin to build up my raglan line by bringing one needle at a time. My raglan line now is ready. It's a and now I will bind off stitches for my back part. But as soon as I'm binding stitches off from my back part, I'm casting on stitches for my sleeve. As many stitches, as many needles I need to knit my sleeve. So of course I use the same number of stitches that I used on another side. When I done my casting on, I knit 2 rows only on needles that needles that I used to cast on my sleeve. And now I begin to form my raglan line, and I'm doing it by bringing in backward in working position, one needle at a time. When you knit partial knitting, you have to be you have to be careful with your weights, and you have to also be keep attention that all your stitches knit, especially pay attention on the first and second stitch after your of your raglan line, because of exactly these 2 stitches sometimes have problem of knitting. And if you overlook it, you will have different size of holes of your raglan, and basically on your finished garment it will be really visible, and it's really shame because of you spend so much time of knitting this garment, and because of this mistake you basically destroy all your work. If you have possibility to keep it to pull it down slightly with your fingers, it's a good way to do it. This way you have control over your garment. My raglan line now is finished. I'm knitting the last needle. So basically I'm done with the half of my garment. So I knit my one sleeve and the main part, and now I knit a half of my another sleeve. And now I will bind off and show you the result. This is the result of my knitting, exactly the way I removed it from machine. As you see, I have my sleeves and I have my raglan line and I have my main part. In this case, it will be a back part. So everything as we planned to do before we started. Now I will iron my piece of garment, and show it to you. It's a result of our knitting. Uh, you see that we have a piece of garment with a raglan line uh, knitted sideways. So from one sleeve to the main part and to another sleeve. And if you look at our raglan line, you can see it's basically one hole is smaller than other. I will try to zoom to it. It's basically pretty visible. It's a result of that I didn't pay attention to knitting of last two needles before my raglan line. Just be aware. Otherwise, we are finished. And if you like this video, if you are interested in this way of knitting and you want to know more about it, how to knit it whole way around and how to put it together on the machine by as you go during your knitting, so I will be happy to make more videos. So if you like this video, write your comment, and you're also very welcome to like it. And thank you very much. Bye.